everyone, my name's Jessie from Niabi Zoo, and I'm actually the primary carnivore keeper, and I'm here today with you to read a book about snow leopards. And I think we have a snow leopard that might join us off and on while we read the book. So the book today is called Snowy, a Leopard of the High Mountains. High in the mountains, Snowy and her family lived in a small cave. Snowy liked to jump and play in the deep, soft snow. Winter was almost over, and each day was a little brighter and warmer. Mama took Snowy exploring all over the mountain. One morning, they studied tracks of other animals. All of a sudden, there were loud, sharp sounds. Bang, bang! Snowy wondered, is it thunder or an avalanche? Then they heard human voices shouting. Snowy and her mom were afraid. Fur hunters, whispered Mama. Snowy knew they made many animals disappear. Run, Snowy, Mama yelled. Hide in the forest. Mama ran away from her daughter so the hunters would follow her instead of Snowy. Afraid of the hunters, Snowy ran through the forest until the sky was dark. Then she realized that she had gone too far and was lost. Would Mama be able to find her? Snowy curled beside the tree and waited for morning to come. The next morning, feeling sad and lonely, Snowy by a big tree, suddenly she could hear someone breathing nearby. And then a clumsy little animal walked right in front of her. A marmot had just awoken from hibernating through the winter. He was busily looking around for nuts and berries to eat. Snowy and the marmot stayed together all day in the forest, hoping Snowy's mother would come. As night fell, Marmot said, "It's cold out here." "The cold isn't my biggest problem," Snowy answered. "I'm lost and I don't think Mama will be able to find me." "Oh my, how sad," Marmot sighed. "I have many animal friends. Maybe we can help you find your way home." Snowy smiled a little. "That is so nice of you, Marmot. Tonight you have one more friend. You can sleep here next to me. My fur will help keep you warm." At dawn, the darkness was fading from the forest. Owl was getting ready to sleep when the two friends arrived under her tree. "Good morning, Owl," said Marmot. "Excuse us, but do you know the way to my friend Snowy's home?" "I am too old to remember," Owl answered in a deep voice. "From the south peak of the mountain, you can see far away and find the right path. It is very hard to get to the peak, so you need to be patient and brave. Ask help from the deer, rabbits, and sheep." The south peak was too far away for two little animals to walk alone. They needed musk deer to help them cross the wide plains. Following musk deer's unusual scent, Snowy and Marmot tracked him. Musk deer kindly took them on his back and walked along the way. When they arrived at the mountain, Musk deer wished them good luck and turned back. Sorry guys, these pages aren't turning very well. The mountainside was steep and full of rocks. Snowy and Marmot slowly started to climb. Snowy was small, though, and not very good at jumping over the rocks. Rabbit noticed their trouble and hopped over to them. A great jumper himself, Rabbit happily gave Snowy some jumping lessons. There was no time to waste to reach the peak and look for Snowy's way home. After a few hours of training, Snowy was able to jump over little boulders and crevices, even with Marmot on her back. Rabbit waved goodbye and hopped away. Snowy and Marmot finally reached the last part of their journey. Climbing to the peak, there were many little paths heading uphill, but they all looked too dangerous. who could help them climb. Marmot disappeared for a minute and returned with a young Argyle, a mountain sheep. There was no peak that Argyle could not reach. She agreed to lead the way. It was late afternoon when Snowy and her friends finally reached the South Peak. The view was amazing all around them. They could see far, far away. They looked around everywhere. Snowy suddenly shouted with joy, "I can see the slope where my home is. We followed this ridge. I think we can reach it before nighttime." Snowy and Marmot thanked Argyle and said goodbye, then walked along the ridge. The sun was starting to set as Snowy and Marmot quickly walked. Argyle had taught them to step with courage and purpose. The world around them looked so beautiful. The two friends came to the snowy hillside above Snowy's home. Their hearts were pounding with excitement. They ran down the hill as fast as they could. It was nearly dark when they saw Snowy's mother. "Snowy, Mama, Papa!" Mama kissed Snowy's nose and Papa rubbed her head. They were so happy to be together again. Snowy explained, "My new friend Marmot and many other forest animals taught me all that needed to know to find my way home. Kindness, patience, loyalty, and courage." When Snowy and Mama turned to look at Marmot, he was already asleep. They had such a big adventure on his first day away. After winter hibernation, he needed a little rest. The end.
So even though this was kind of a scary book in parts, it was really about friendship and helping one another. Can you tell us, Jess, what's going on with the snow leopard in the wild as far as their conservation status?
So as of right now, their conservation status is low numbers, which means they still need help. The positive news is they did discover that there's more snow leopards in the wild than they originally thought. So their status has actually gone up, but they still need our help to make sure that they're protected, because when you look at this book, it actually shows us a really good example of where they live. And they do live in places that it's very hard to see them and to find them in the wild for us to have accurate counts on them. So there's many people involved in helping them in the wild.
And it's kind of nice to know that the animals look out for each other too sometimes.
For sure.
Well, thank you, Jess. We appreciate it. And we got some cameos from Niko and Kira today too. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Jess.